whichever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, kind of see your face. Hi, welcome to another episode of Quinterviewing. I got Sleet the Sergal here, and so I ask him some questions. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo, big. Scooby snacks.
I ate them all already.
I feel kind of gypped. Wanted graham cracker goodness. Okay.
Next time.
What do you spend the most time doing on your phone? What, me?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
We're getting to know you.
Let's see.
We can both answer.
It can all be summed up as stuff that I shouldn't be doing on my phone because I should be working. But it's basically Telegram and just randomly Googling whatever pops into my head.
Now for me, Telegram and live streams. Stuck in live streams, I'll be like, oh, it's 3 hours later. I was gonna do stuff today. Guess not.
Let's see. What advice would you give someone just getting into the furry fandom? Go to a convention. It makes a world of difference, and it's a lot different than anything you're going to find online. Like, totally different. So I actually went to PDFC back in January, and that was like a lot, completely like different than what I would have expected. Like, I knew it was going to be like, okay, well, I've heard some stories, whatever, but it was actually really nice. I was just taken back with how nice everyone was there. So it was really cool, like, within, like, I felt really comfortable, and I'm not usually good around large crowds.
So that was your first con, or have you been to
Yeah, that was the first one I went
IBFC
to.
or AZFC before?
Yeah, that was just the first one I went to back in January. I didn't go to the New Year's party, though, with a friend, but...
Oh, you went to that?
Yeah. It was like,
That's
I'm like, okay, this is all right. And then afterwards, it's like, well, New Year's party was over. I guess that was okay. What do you want to do? He's like, well, I didn't blow off like $8 per drink, so when I go back to the hotel and, down some Game of Thrones whiskey. Oh, for the record, the Song of Fire, themed whiskey, it really does live up to its name. It tastes like burning.
Oh.
But it was a lot of fun, and I would recommend, a convention to kind of, really change your perspective.
Yeah.
Because usually people who go to the conventions usually are a little more together.
That's true, yeah. It can kind of be cliquey, but yeah. And it's like, oh, no, that person, oh, this person, oh, this person.
It's weird because there's a lot of people I met afterwards, like, oh, I remember you. You were at the convention. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I've seen you somewhere, yeah.
So that was actually kind of crazy. And so there are a lot of people that I just met that were just like right here locally that I never would have met otherwise. And then, yeah, I ended up joining Telegram, and that's partly why I'm on Telegram so much.
That's where we congregate. Alright, awesome. Next, do 5. So 3 out of 5.
Well, actually, yeah, this is the third one here.
Yeah.
When and who was your first furry character? TV show or movie crush? That's a tough one.
Or internet or drawing any characters that...
I'm gonna have to think for a moment. It's I need some Jeopardy music going.
Or da 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 da.
I wanted to say a Don Bluth film. I'm thinking. Maybe do you ever see Rockadoodle?
What was it called?
Rockadoodle. It was one of his weirder early '90s films. I heard he's actually lives right here in Scottsdale too.
Huh.
Don Bluth. But that was one of his first. Right after he was done with his '90s films. With some big successes All Dogs Go to Heaven, Land Before Time. He did Rockadoodle, and that was a weird film, but it was still entertaining. I think Nostalgia Critic actually made some jokes about it, and he actually reviewed it, but it was actually a good film, and I actually really liked it, and I liked a lot of the characters in it. But it's hard to say any one character really influenced me.
So what character is it all kinds of animals, or was it animals, or
all kinds of animals? There's a lot of different shows I like. Everyone remembers things like Road Rovers. You had oh man, It's funny because when I'm under, like, you know, being asked questions, I can't think of them, but you know what I mean, right?
It's okay, no pressure. It's just us and my phone. Hi, phone.
But yeah, there were quite a
Whoever
few.
tunes in to watch this.
There were quite a few different films that I really liked, but I think Don Bluth, like, just the genre and the, like, his style was like really influential,
Aw.
and so that was, I think that really made like a big difference.
Was that 3, 4? I'll have to look that up when.
Let's see, what's the last thing you watched on TV, and why did you choose to watch it? Oh, what do you think? I think the last thing I watched was Rick and Morty. And the reason I chose to watch it is because, look, it's been like a double shift, and after working that long, you need some kind of relief.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if, like, Pickle Rick
It's
is
like
kind
your
of burned
brain
out,
just,
and you've seen it before. I mean, the joke is past, but I don't care. I want to see Pickle Rick.
Yeah. Alright, and the last and final question. Unless you want to keep going.
Yeah. How did you find the furry fandom? Well, the obvious answer is I'm a dork who spends too much time on the internet.
Me too.
But I actually found it through a friend back in high school. It was like one of those types that it's like, look at me. I'm like, you know, real edgy and I wear like, you know, the Neo style trench coat, like, you know, always going around like Keanu Reeves, just dressed in like, you know, a long trench coat, a little bit too shiny, you know, to be something that somebody would normally wear. And
So
really
the guy
chunky
that's like,
sunglasses.
you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
watch?
It's like, oh yeah, and just to make himself like stand out more, he would like, you know, go to school with a briefcase. It's like, no, I just carry a briefcase.
I remember seeing someone, yeah, I was like, why do you have a briefcase?
There's always that one kid. But eventually, like, he started, like, easing up a little bit, he started making friends. And he's like, okay, I'm a little bit cooler, but he was always looking, you know, to kind of experience new things. And he eventually got into it, and he's like, hey, did you know about this? It's like, oh, and I started looking into it, and he was a little more, like, outgoing. Like I said, he wasn't, like, he was really bold. So he was going to like school wearing like foxtails and stuff, and people would be like, "What's up with that?" But yeah, he was definitely like, I think, you know, he was the one who really introduced me to it because I hadn't known about it at that point.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I didn't know about it until I was
I mean,
mascots and stuff. And we got Chuck E. Cheese, and someone saw one of my posts and was like, "Are you a furry?" And I was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Yep, I am."
It's funny because I knew I had kind of hints about it because I was like really into a lot of games. I was collecting games of all kinds. And you know, you go onto forums and you talk about it, and it tends to attract a certain type of people who tend to gravitate towards that. And they talk about certain things. It's like, well, gee, why are these people talking about this sort of thing? Like, I wonder what this, you know, what that actually means. And it's like, oh, all the pieces come together.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, that makes sense.
So, like, about him, and also kind of bonus question for you, have you ever done like Comic-Con and that kind of stuff, or is...
Not really.
Okay.
I didn't do a whole lot of conventions. I was going to go to Comic-Con one time. I went, like, a friend tried to get me to go to some science fiction, you know, expo, and I never went. But it's like, yeah, I don't really
Yeah, I always
feel
thought
like
about it, talked about it, like, yeah, that'd be cool, but never happened, and then,
Yeah, it's
last year was the first time I went, and it was fun.
Yeah, and I finally went to one, you know, like I said, it was just a PDF sequence starting, like, you know, at January 3rd. And so that was, like, right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. I was really surprised because I always figured I'd be bored out of my mind at these things. And I would just wander around, wait for the next, you know, event to come around, just sit around for 2 hours, maybe run by Jack in the Box, grab a sandwich.
Nice that one. There's always stuff to do. There's different meetups for different groups, and there's panels and stuff. The other ones are kind of... I kind of go down, walk around, see who's there, and then come back up, and then a little bit later go back.
Yeah, it was
just
a lot
walk in
more,
circles, but...
I gotta say, it was a lot more active than I thought it would be. So there was definitely, you know, something going on at all hours of the day.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. I have to say, I was like really surprised, and I wish I had gone to. I think it was Further Confusion was right after that, like over in California.
Coben, yeah.
Yeah, one of my friends went to that. I think that was the one. And then there was the last one that was held was over in Texas, and I can't remember the name of it either.
Oh, Furry Fiesta?
No,
Smaller one?
Yeah, there was one. It was like
Texas Furry Fiesta's, yeah, the bigger one.
Yeah. And that was the last one that was held, and it's like, yeah, I got into it. It's like, I envy you. Because I wanted to go, like, go to another one afterward, but I was kind of like all over the place at the time, just trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to go to grad school? Am I going to do, like,
Welcome to adulting, yeah.
And then it's like, well, grad school's not going to work out because for some reason I want to take a computer science course on assembly language. That's not going to happen. Somehow, even though it's a computer science course, the professor doesn't know how to use Zoom.
Oh.
And even stranger, it's like, yeah, what kind of operating system are you using? Oh, me, I'm using Linux. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Linux. I only use Windows. It's like, and you're a computer science professor. And you don't know how to, like, yeah, I ended up having to set up the compiler myself, and I had to go work it out myself. And it took me a couple hours to get fix everything, but I had to do that on my own. So after that, I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, sorry, like the airport. But it was basically, it was like, after that I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go to work, just go in the field, because I don't know how long this Corona thing's gonna last, but if it's gonna be like the full 3 or 4 years, no thank you.
Hopefully not.
Oh. So let's see, what's up on the next?
Do you want to answer more, or do you want to? I did the 5.
I'm gonna do one more.
One more.
Just gonna kind of. These are
You long ones or short ones?
Let's see. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a deep question.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So like, some of these are like interview questions.
Oh man, there's a lot there. This is like one of those things they ask, like, at a beauty pageant. It's like,
yeah,
if you could change one thing in the world, and it's just like, you don't get it right, because there's no right answer. They just kind of grade you on it. It's like, oh. If I could change one thing in the world.
Mr. President, what would you change about the world? No pressure. No.
That's a good question. I don't know.
How about
I think first, considering my current predicament, I'd make it, snow more in Arizona.
Snow.
We said we couldn't change, like the existential, there's like, every aspect of our reality. If I could actually do that, I'd make Arizona a little bit cooler. I mean, it's nice. We don't have tornadoes.
Change the weather. Yeah, that's true.
Now all we just need is, like, get rid of that blazing heat and those dust storms, and we're perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
yay! Well, thank you, Sleet, and see you next time. Bye. Dance to that, do. Awesome.